Because my room looks like the circle on that 70s show right now.
All right.
I want to start this episode by saying I think we're going to go ahead and start pulling back on the weekend review, pretty much. So for like wrestling, for the most part, like, because if anything good happens, we'll talk about it from here on out. But we'll try. We're not gonna force it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're running out of shit to talk about in wrestling somehow, some way. I mean, current
AEW was good.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Tell me more, because NXT was.
Yep, and I told you that. Listen, allow me to gloat. Damn it. With my Jedi mind, I told you, and I told everybody else that was in the sound of my voice, listen to me, that once NXT got to USA Network, it was going to become blah. It didn't happen automatically. It was still good, but slowly but surely, that TV time is going to mess up the creative process.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Here we are. You're calling it meh. Yeah, granted, it was probably only one episode. It's probably only one.
Well,
That's all. I'm not finished. I'm not finished. That's all it takes for it to snowball. All it takes is one episode to snowball. And we've seen it. And it's coming.
Wrap it up, B.
That's how I wrap it up.
There we go. With that being said, not necessarily, because this has happened in NXT a few times actually in the past few years. They're transitioning for the most part. They're call ups are getting, well, I guess you call overs are getting called over, and so they now have to start building stars again, and that's how we've gotten, buildups of the likes of Undisputed Era. No, not Undisputed Era. They were originals. But, the likes of Velveteen Dream, Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle, so on and so forth. So they just need the characters and the stories to start developing. Once they start, getting people invested in these characters, that's when things are going to pick back up speed. In the meantime, between time, you still have the rivalries like Ciampa and Gargano, in which Gargano's the heel this time around. You have Keith Lee and Dijakovic, which I don't care much for, but people do because they're high-flying giants. And Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox. At which that was the highlight of Wednesday for real. Because them bras, woof. That was not a wrestling match. That was a fight.
None of them Jones better than MJF versus Cody right now.
You said what?
None of them Jones is better than MJF versus Cody Rhodes right now.
I'll bet. But whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I said.
Or Moxley versus the entire inner circle.
It's slowdown season for the most part. Like they're slowing down a little bit because it's almost WrestleMania season. Uh-huh. So they're having that little bit of time to, calm down, relax things, regroup for the most part. NXT's still going to have their takeovers, and those takeovers are still going straight. So that's a given at this point because Triple H and HBK does not miss when it comes to takeover. They just don't. So death taxes NXT takeover at this point. So that's not a problem. What they're really worried about for real is what they're going to do for WrestleMania, in which the card is halfway built at this point. Um, or the pieces are starting to come together. So once the pieces actually start coming together and everything, that's when you'll start picking up speed on Raw and SmackDown in particular. That's when things will actually start getting interesting for once. Um, but NXT again, they're just re-upping. It's the re-up for NXT right now. That's all. After WrestleMania season, NXT is going to have the characters that they've introduced and invested. Like the fans are going to be invested in them by this point, by that point, because people are like really getting into Swerve Scott. That's and I never thought with a name like Swerve Scott he'd get a push, but we all know behind the scenes why he got that push.
Why did he get the push?
You know who. It ain't wise. Who?
I don't know who.
Who indirectly gave him that push?
I don't know. I haven't been watching.
By getting himself fired over a T-shirt design, which in theory he had every reason to be upset about.
That guy, that black guy, whose name I
don't know. That one guy.
I don't know his name.
We can't call him what he was in WWE anymore, and I can't remember what his actual name is. So
just call him what it was in WWE. Who cares?
Jordan Miles. So
okay,
you know, he fucked up his own money for real. I understand you are upset that WWE like blatantly put blackface on a T-shirt with your name on it, and it also goes to show your character's gimmick being shit and just being like a minstrel for the most part.
That never happened in AEW.
You kind of set yourself up for that failure, but you could have went about things a different way instead of ranting and raving and shit and just talking your way out of a contract.
Well,
he could have went to the people that needed to be gone to and discussed this matter and his concern for it like a professional. All right, there are ways around that shit. Like, but motherfuckers are so busy being militant and vigilant for the culture that they just make asses out of themselves.
That's the culture we live in today.
And that's why the culture hasn't won yet.
Nope.
That's true.
But I'll be glad to tell you more about AEW once we get there. Oh, he's got his wine. He's got his Half-White's drink of choice.
Live via satellite, it is Gorilla Game Podcast. I am your empathetic yet foul-mouthed half of this show. Young Raspy God, Young Jiggy Starburst, Carlos Crawford, a.k.a. Tim Music Charlie. I am the first level of Parappa the Rapper. Now, kick, Kenny.
Okay.
a.k.a. Thick Flair. I'm going to be on the other side of that dressing room through the cement wall, listening to the doctor pull stitches through your body. That's a promise.
Okay.
A.k.a. Snap Miller. Virgin there, phone, they getting service there. Merca for person, speaker, word or stare. Nobody move. Leave your bitches bloody bruised. Here to murder me, you, your mama, and your cousin too. It's nothing new. Simply we don't fuck with you. A.k.a. Gelato Graham. Sometimes I wonder how my career would have panned out if I was instead drafted by the San Francisco 420s. Me at the helm, Shoeless Jack Smokes at the back, Helium Harry Hasher and Speedball Adams as my receivers. Doobie Williams as my tight end, we would have been unstoppable. Well, then again, I was still unstoppable, but I already had.
Doobie Williams.
I had fun making those names up.
That is hilarious.
AKA
Matt Hasher.
Haystack West. All right, the Python family, or so they call them. I call them an unhinged group of bitch asses, hoe asses, bitch ass hoes, hoe ass bitches, hoe bitches, and bitch hoe asses. Motherfucker, all of that? Yes, nigga, and you'll see why. How many of them are there? Four? Yeah, and they're scattered separately throughout New Urban, too. Hey, man, any more than 3, I can't promise them all back here alive. If any of them come back dead, I can't promise you a full reward. Fine, but I'm fucking you up when we get back. You're not getting a fluke upper hand this week. I'll shoot you in your ankle. You coward. Look, we can handle this, Moose. We're going to need a paddy wagon. Since this asshole here won't let me use his, I know one other person with one. Saddle up. Go ahead and introduce yourself to these people.
Are you really going to shoot him in the ankle?
Who knows? I just might. He won't. He most certainly won't. Sheriff is a coward.
I'd pay money to see that. My name is Kenneth Whitaker, a.k.a. Hendrick Solo, the original owner of the Millennium Falcon. Here I am again, once again, moving through this here galaxy. I've heard there's a new threat in town. Somebody by the name of Lando Calrissian.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we gotta go backwards on these sound effects this week. Calrissian in the building? Shit, you got a new enemy.
Yeah.
I'll drink to that.
This one gonna be a little closer to home because he was friends with Han.
Wait.
I mean, I ain't really mentioning him.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
We've seen how that played out. AKA the last Black Jedi. Do or do not, there is no try. Like, if you try me, we're going to saddle up this pony here, and we're going to kick you right in the jawline. Everything from here on down. Kick City.
See this? See my fingers? They're toes.
Yeah. Did you really hit yourself? Did you really just smack yourself?
I did.
You know you could just went like that and knock your head back.
Yeah.
Riot. Hey, the Black Hot Rod. Just when they think they have all the answers, I change the question. Plain and easy.
Look what I got under me, kid.
Oh, you trying to steal my line, man. You stole my line. Now I steal your lady.
Oh, wait. What lady?
Your lady.
Whom's amongst you are my lady?
Oh, no.
Now my hand was raised.
AKA Malcolm.
Oh God, I'm so lonely. I left the screen.
Sensational.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what you should have played the Kawhi laugh. Too late now. You can't.
Never.
Oh, AKA, not your man, I'm a savage. Oh, yeah. See, I know what the time of the year does to people now. And everyone's got love on their mind and love in the air. But one thing that the Nacho Man doesn't care about music. He doesn't care about the lovey-dovey situations going on. Yeah, because at the end of the day, the Nacho Man knows. The Nacho Man sure knows me that these hoes are in full effect around this time of the year, asking for gifts and flowers and chocolates. But the Nacho Man doesn't give flowers and chocolates. He gives Slim Jims and elbow drops because that's all he has on Nacho Man can provide for these. The hoes like to play their position like they're the main chick, but a lot of these hoes don't know that they're the side chick. The Nacho Man, no, the Nacho Man doesn't have a problem telling these hoes that they need to play their position because they're only side chicks in the Nacho Man's book meaning. And they can't. I tell you, listen closely, look into my eyes, just a little bit. These hoes are not loyal. See, I can't have a non-loyal hoe because the non-loyal hoe is in the mean, the Nacho Man. Nacho Man's presence, he's gonna get rid of them and kick them to the curb and snap their necks like my favorite nacho flavor Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nacho Man, I'm a Savage, live from an igloo in Alaska, secluded away from these hoes. Back to you, Bobby.
I kind of got threw off because you were just really standing like that the whole time, not making any faces. Oh God!
I told you. That's the thing now. and Nacho Man is gonna be live from somewhere every single time. We're gonna always go back to Bobby and Gorilla Monsoon.
That's hilarious. AKA Bill Cosby here live in the building. I went down to catering, and after I left catering, they told me, Bill. I said, yes, that's my name. And they said that we've got special pudding for you. And I said to them, I said, catering, please let the pudding be just like how I like my women, and that's chocolate and vanilla. Don't worry about what I have in my back pocket. It's not a Quaalude. It's just the ink pen.
All right, I'll let that one slide. It's just a pen. All right. Nothing harmful. As long as it's not a Quaalude, we're good.
Well, no, because it could be a roofie or something. AKA. AKA Mr. Go Slick Vodka. Dude, you shouldn't have parked there. Man, I'm about to graduate. They should be sucking on my ball sack. That's the least they could do for stealing 4 years of my life. That's
my ball sack.
My ball sack. AKA the very sexual. The very tight.
Very tight, yes.
Austin Powers Faja.
Wait, is Faja?
Dad is Faja.
Oh. Father.
Hang in there, Mini-Me. If anything should happen to you, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably move on and get another replica club, but there'd be a 10-minute period where I have to just be inconsolable.
Ew. Hey yo. And even more Griselda Records ad libs. We need to start doing Griselda record ad libs.
So,
Just a whole bunch of.
So Carlos, I might be retiring Vince Blackman.
Good. Good.
But there's a thing that comes with that because it might be more of Bill Cosby. So I don't know exactly if I should retire.
This just became a lesser of two evils. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I don't like the presidential election. Sorry. No politics.
that's fair. I'll give you that. Because you don't want to do the Trump voice.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know you could do a good Trump.
Well, everybody knows that when it comes to impressions, that I do a great job. It's a great job, and the impressions are better than any impression that they've had seen before. Big numbers, big. He's huge. He's huge with impressions, and he's huge with his forehead. Not the best impression, I know. Not one of my better ones. Not one of my better ones, but I could do it. The only problem is I don't like to listen to him talk a lot.
Everybody knows that I am the best president of the United States that the United States have ever had. Just look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Okay. I'm number one in everything. Okay. George Washington couldn't do a better job than I could. Okay. All right. Abraham Lincoln couldn't make better jobs than Donald Trump could. Okay. And you know why? You know why? Because I got the Russians involved. And that's all we needed for me to win. So we can make America great again.
Yeah, no, you sound like you yourself.
Yeah. I kind of devolved for a second. Like I was there for a little bit.
The only problem with Trump is that your voice isn't raspy and high enough at the same time.
Yeah, that's true too.
But if you did a Barack Obama,
Trump in his voice.
You bite me a little better. Try Obama. Maybe you can do that just a little better than Trump, but not too much.
I think I do a great JFK. Ask not what you can do for your country, but instead ask what your country can do for you.
That was the worst JFK I've ever seen in my life.
I have a debilitating Massachusetts accent.
This is coming from Shaquille O'Neal, who knows nothing about politics. I see hope. I dunk ball in hoop. What is a free throw?
Shaq, you jackass. Okay.
Terrible.
You know what?
Absolutely terrible.
I wish we stopped talking about politics. Okay. I see LeBron James talk about politics. I never saw Kobe Bryant talk about politics. That's why Kobe Bryant is a legend. Okay. LeBron James, he want to talk about politics in the barbershop show.
Listen. Joel Embiid just need to stop playing around in the paint. Now he need to be a center. He keeps standing out there at the 3-point line, taking the 3-point shot. You need to post up down low.
40 point, 50 point.
40 point, Krispy Kreme donut. 40 point, 50 point, 60 point.
Oh boy, let's go to Clark Kellogg. Clark, what you got for us?
It's me, Joel Embiid. My favorite pregame meal is a Big Mac and fry. Hey yo, I'll be listening to Philly sports radio, and there's this dude that come in there and do the impressions, Joe Compton. He be having me absolutely dying. He be talking like Brett Brown. He does Embiid. He does Chip Kelly, Andy Reid. I'm dying, bro.
Hey, nah, you know who's sick with the impressions but don't get enough credit? Frank Caliendo.
Frank Caliendo. Todd.
Son, Frank Caliendo be having me crying, bro. He be having me crying with the John Madden joke, dog.
Boom.
Oh my gosh.
You died from
him and Pat Summerall, son.
Bruh, you died from Pat Summerall and John Madden. Mel Kiper had me in tears. 6'11", 275, can move out the backfield, shows tremendous explosion from the hips, going downtown. Gonna be a star player in the NFL for sure.
Like, son, nah, his motherfucking John Gruden.
Oh yeah, I like this man. This guy here, man.
His John Gruden hilarious, dog.
Hey, bro, I wish when we get big enough, bro, we gotta get Frank Caliendo to come on.
We gotta do that. That's definitely happening.
Once we get on, bro, we gotta have that man Frank Caliendo on, bro.
He's gonna be one of our first guests.
He's gotta be, bro. We're gonna have him do everybody. Everyone.
All right.
That's Mel Kiper, bro.
Set in Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Bro, that's.
Turn the blinds off. Turn on that light.
I'm sorry, bro. But that's Mel Kiper Jr., bro. I'm still thinking about it. 6'7", 285, out of Clemson, moves mentally fast out the backfield, knows how to carry the ball with tremendous precision.
My God.
Knows how to find the gap.
And we are going to get to chopping this fable, Kenny, because boy, do I have a dandy for you this week. I like the whole what if scenario so much. I think it should be a recurring series. That being said,
what if Frank Caliendo didn't do impressions?
No. Frank Caliendo should never not do impressions.
But I just want to hear him do Mel Kiper this year. They need to bring him on for the show.
That's fair. That's completely fair. However, this week, what if the curtain call incident never happened?
But they didn't leave.
What? No. Hear me out. For non-wrestling fans, back in 1996, Kevin Nash, who was known as Diesel in the WWE, and Razor Ramon, who is Scott Hall, they were headed to WCW. They were finishing up rivalries with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, respectively, two separate rivalries. At the end of their matches, at the end of that night, all four of them come out and they have a group hug in the middle of the ring. It's back when the time where kayfabe was a secret within the wrestling community.
Kayfabe was king.
Meaning that the storyline that you saw on TV translated into real life as far as the fans know. That was the veil. Well, that veil had been open. Vince McMahon initially gave permission for them to do it. However, the backlash of it infuriated them. With Hall and Nash at WCW, they received no penalty. Shawn Michaels was WWE champion at the time. He's the face of the company. He doesn't get punished. So who gets the brunt of the punishment? A young Triple H, who at that time was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. All right. Now, in turn, Hunter Hearst Helmsley was supposed to win the King of the Ring tournament in 1996. Instead, the dawn of Austin 316 happens. Austin wins King of the Ring. Jake the Snake talk about your Psalms and your John 316. Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass. And thus began the legend. Well, let's rewind things back a little bit. What if they never decided to do that curtain call group hug? Well, let's start here, right? top of 96. Well, October of 96 is where we're starting at, right? Because of how things turn out, no curtain call incident. The King of the Ring tournament goes completely differently. All right. Vader washes Bradshaw. Ultimate Warrior beats Savio Vega. Jake the Snake Roberts upsets Stone Cold in the first round with a roll-up pin.
Pause. Just to let you know that the Audacity disconnected and just messed up, but don't worry about it. I'll just convert the video from YouTube and put it on SoundCloud. Continue.
Okie doke. Yeah. So Jake the Snake upsets Stone Cold in the first round with a roll-up pin. Triple H.
Which I might just be doing that from now on, because it's kind
of as well, right? It's just a mess. Hunter Hearst Helmsley beats Bob Holly. Goldust literally creeps his way past Marty Jannetty. I don't know. You use your imagination. I don't want to.
Like this?
Sure. Ahmed Johnson beats a Godwin, whichever thing you want. Mark Merrow beats Skill. And Owen Hart actually beats Yokozuna. Now, in the next round, Vader and the Ultimate Warrior end up having a no contest. They knock each other out. So that's a setup for the match at SummerSlam. Stone Cold attacks Jake the Snake, in which Triple H takes a W quick. Goldust once again creeps past Ahmed Johnson. You use your imagination. Owen Hart defeats Marvelous Mark Merrow. Well, Hunter Hearst Helmsley gets a round bye due to that no contest between Vader and the Ultimate Warrior, giving him the weakest bracket on the way to the final. Right? With that being said, the crowd is pissed because of this. And this gives Hunter Hearst Helmsley the dawn of his heel push. All right? Now, meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, Owen Hart beats Goldust. Now, Owen turns face mid-match between Hunter Hearst Helmsley in the finals. The ref gets knocked down the match. During that ref knockdown, D-Generation X forms that night, with Shawn Michaels coming in with his vendetta with Bret Hart, super kicking Owen Hart. Shawn then proceeds to beat the British Bulldog, like in historical, remaining champ. So, let's continue on up to Royal Rumble. Let's continue through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So leading up to Survivor Series, Ahmed Johnson wins the Intercontinental Championship against Goldust in an episode of Raw. Austin continues to terrorize Roberts when Jake the Snake tries to retire. Vader and Michaels at SummerSlam never happens because now it's Vader versus Ultimate Warrior. Owen becomes the number one contender. Austin fights Johnson for the Intercontinental Championship. Jake the Snake interferes, and Johnson ends up winning. All right? Thus continuing that rivalry between Austin and Roberts. We have Triple H versus Ahmed Johnson at SummerSlam. Stone Cold beats Jake the Snake. Triple H beats Ahmed Johnson. Jake the Snake retires, by the way, after this match. Vader becomes number one contender, and Shawn Michaels beats Owen Hart, thus retaining the championship. Now, Stone Cold mirrors history by starting to taunt Bret, but it becomes short-lived for the most part because Owen answers instead. Then we get HBK versus Vader for the championship, in which Triple H interfered. Bret helps Owen beat Austin, which moves us into Survivor Series, right? Now, Survivor Series 96. Ahmed Johnson and Marvelous Marmero, no contest. However, Commissioner Gorilla Monsoon gives them a shot at the Intercontinental Championship anyway. Hunter retains that championship. Hart and Austin round 1 happens, just not for the championship. Okay? So that still happens, but it's a non-title match. If you recall that match in 96. Shawn Michaels loses to Owen. Owen becomes champion. There's no Psycho Sid match because of this. However, Psycho Sid joins Vader in the tag team traditional elimination match instead. And we still get the debut of Rocky Maivia. All right. So let's get into the new year, 97. So the Rumble goes as such. Owen retains against Shawn. The last 5 in the Royal Rumble is Undertaker, Triple H, Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Rocky Maivia.
Come on, say where your thumb at? Can't see it. Go ahead.
Now, while Austin and Bret are brawling in the corner, Triple H and Rocky try to take out The Undertaker, in which, saying that it wasn't working out, Triple H eliminates Rocky instead. So laughing at Rocky Maivia, The Undertaker sits up, or with Triple H laughing at Rocky Maivia, The Undertaker sits up, gets up, throws Triple H out. Bret eliminates an overzealous Austin who was trying to clothesline him, but Bret ducks and does that little rope hang thing. Whoop! Austin goes over, right? But we all know that Austin doesn't rock. Stone Cold jumps back in, throws Bret out, causing him the match. Taker wins the Rumble, tombstoning Austin as a reward for his efforts. So, leading up to WrestleMania 13, Shawn still loses his smile. All right? that still happens.
It's cocaine.
So, Bret spazzes on Raw, and we still get Austin and Hart. And we still get that same finish. Austin still becomes a made man. All right? Rocky beats Trips, becoming Intercontinental Champion. Undertaker beats Owen Hart, becoming 2-time WWE champ at that time. So we go into King of the Ring that year. Shawn comes back, joins with Austin to rival the Hart Foundation. Stone Cold wins King of the Ring in 97 rather than 96. However, instead of course, beating Jake Snake Roberts and getting the Austin 316 quote, his claim to fame in this King of the Ring tournament is his bracket was the strongest as he ran through every member of the Hart Foundation in each round. Meaning, he probably opened up with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, right? Next round, he had British Bulldog. Round after that, he probably had Owen. No. Yeah, possibly. And then after that, took out Bret. So, yeah, running through each foundation member. Now, that being said, Mankind and The Undertaker's Hell in a Cell match, in all of its glory, every goddamn moment that happened in that match, from the climbing of the cell to Mankind being tossed off the cell, to Mankind getting off the stretcher, getting back up top to the cage, and getting choke slammed through the cell. Every last moment of it still happens, but it happens a year early. And that's the main event at King of the Ring in 97. So, SummerSlam. Austin and Rocky's first encounter. still happens. Austin wins Intercontinental Championship, and that leads to a feud with the Nation of Domination. Kenny, I like to stop here for a moment. Because you have a country redneck from Texas.
That's funny.
Feuding with a wrestling version of the Black Panthers.
That's funny. I'd watch that. Go black people.
That is hilarious to me because the racial connotations it could possibly produce. Anyway, with that being said, in turn, we never get Owen and Austin. Austin never breaks his neck. All right.
Okay.
So some good is coming out of this alternate history right now. All right. So, with that being said, the ripple effect of the Attitude Era still happens. Let me explain. If you recall, because officially DX forming is the start of the Attitude Era. Like that night on Raw was, historically speaking, the night the Attitude Era started. So, with that being said, Triple H and Shawn have formed DX, a year prior. So, in theory, the Attitude Era has already started. And everything is within it. Everything happens earlier, for the most part, because of the curtain call never happened. Austin gets his push later, and that's the only thing that delays, for the most part, so far. Right? Now, with that being said, we still get that match where Bret Hart versus The Undertaker with Shawn Michaels versus special guest referee. Shawn Michaels tries to take the chair away from Bret Hart. Hits Undertaker instead. Bret Hart pins him. Shawn makes a count. He knows he's in deep shit. So the next night on Raw is kind of not necessarily, how it goes when the Attitude Era officially starts. That following night on Raw, Shawn said that he knew that The Undertaker would be after him, so he invested in an insurance policy, which ended up being Triple H at the end of the night, which it ended up being revealed. Well, DX is already a thing now. So, with that being said, around Survivor Series, that following Monday after SummerSlam Heart and Soul, DX is in full swing now because they have Rick Rude and Joni. So DX is at full strength at this point. We get to Survivor Series, and here's where things get really, really interesting, Kenny. And I want you to follow this closely because you're going to love this, I think. Bret still opts out of his contract.
Okay.
All right. That still happens.
The screw drop still happens as well.
However, instead of them trying to figure out how he's going to drop the championship, he tells Vince straight up, I'm leaving. I'm going to WCW. All right. So without that limbo of how the title was going to drop, the Montreal Screwjob goes down completely differently, Kenny. And here's how it goes down. Rather than Shawn Michaels reluctantly being involved in his match and saying, I'll do whatever you need me to do, and Triple H going, fuck that. If he's not going to do business, we're going to do business for him. Vince instead picks Trips to fight Bret Hart. So now Trips is in control of this situation firsthand rather than in collusion. Right? Triple H shoots the finish. Rather than a sharpshooter reversal, Trips reverses the sharpshooter, pedigrees Bret Hart, goes for a pin, which is supposed to be kicked out, but Trips forces the pin, and it's a shoot. Not even Heb is involved in this. Everyone is confused, except for maybe Vince. In which that spit in the face goes to a grinning Triple H. So now, after the Montreal Screwjob, Triple H is the biggest heel of the company. Shawn doesn't look guilty, and there is no Mr. McMahon character.
Oh, wow.
However, this is big. Although this is quite a business, this also means that there is no corporation.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have the storyline of the era.
It's no Ministry of Darkness.
No, that's not the storyline of the era, Kenny. You know what the storyline of the era was. Everyone knows what the storyline of the era was.
Austin McMahon.
And we never get Austin and McMahon.
No, I was just saying that we don't get Ministry of Darkness too.
If that's your takeaway in that, I'm very disappointed in you, Kenny.
What? You don't get it. I like the Ministry of Darkness.
I'll bet you do. And Undertaker was fucking wilding at that time. Okay, like that was.
That's why I liked it, because he was wilding.
He was wilding. But
yeah, no Austin McMahon. That's
right. Yeah. This brings us to 1998. All right. At the Royal Rumble, we get Triple H versus Austin. And Shawn interferes. Vince McMahon, seeing as how he doesn't have a heel role now, he uses the screw job to give Owen the Royal Rumble win, thus putting together revenge for Bret at WrestleMania. All right? That's actually pretty genius thinking. Like that's Vince-like thought right there when you think about it. Because he understands that, you know, all right, Bret's out of the company, so he can't defend himself. Triple H screwed Bret. Not Bret screwed Bret. You know what I'm saying? So now we don't even have that line. I just thought about that, Kenny. We don't even have that I didn't screw Bret. Bret screwed Bret line. No. 100% wholesale. Triple H screwed Bret. Okay? So now, with that being said, we have, which leads us to WrestleMania, in which we'll wrap up this timeline. We still get Austin versus Michael, with Mike Tyson as special guest referee. However, it's a non-title match. And Mike Tyson calls it down the line, meaning he doesn't interfere in any way, shape, or form. He's there simply to be special guest referee and enforcer.
That's boring, but go ahead.
And Austin still retains. And in the main event, it is Owen Hart that beats Triple H, thus making Owen Hart a two-time WWE champion in 98, as of 98. So, here are the takeaways in all this, Kenny.
No Ministry of Darkness.
Ugh, that's your start, huh? Very disappointing. very, very disappointing. Out of all the things that happens in this timeline, that's your takeaway.
Ministry of Darkness was lit, bro.
I guess. However, the takeaway is this. Austin becomes King of the Ring a year later rather than in 96.
Oh, that means we don't get Stephanie on the cross. But we don't get it was me, Austin, it was me all along.
Yeah. Yeah, that part I'm a little upset about. I didn't even think of that. That sucks a little bit. Well, because the takeaway is we'll wrap things up. Because it tells us what happens after that and beyond. So Austin becomes King of the Ring a year later. He beats HBK, just not for the championship. And in actuality, granted, he still gets momentum in certain ways, shapes, and forms. This timeline in particular absolutely destroys Austin's career. In the sense of, even though it kept him healthy because he avoided that match with Owen Hart and that sit-out tombstone, we don't get Austin versus McMahon. We don't get Austin 316. Austin doesn't get a couple of these title matches. So, yeah, that destroys his, his star power. Now, that being said, The Rock is still The Rock. The Rock still achieves what he ends up achieving in WWE. However, without that corporation angle, he never goes Hollywood because he never got the exposure. Triple H, at the end of this timeline, that following goddamn Monday, he turns on Shawn. How, you ask? I'll tell you how, Kenny. Because since Shawn fought Owen at Survivor Series back in 97, we never got that casket match against The Undertaker, destroying his lower back. So Shawn remains healthy. He doesn't have to retire. So after WrestleMania and Austin Triple H loses to loses to Owen Hart, Triple H ends up turning on Shawn Michaels, and China ends up taking Triple H's side. So that rivalry we get in 2002.
1, 2. Is this on? 1, 1, 1,
we get immediately after WrestleMania 14. All right.
So
we have an added factor with their, third member being in the middle of it all. So that changes that whole timeline as well.
We still get my time, Triple H.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So, with that being said, no corporation also means that Triple H and Stephanie never marry.
I about to say, that means we don't get McMahon Helmsley.
Nope.
Oh, boo.
Not in kayfabe or in real life.
Boo.
Yeah, no. Because here's the thing, right, Kenny? You got to remember.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh, but
if I don't get to hear Triple H say, you're looking at the new Mr. and Mrs. Hunter Hearst Helmsley driving off from the Vegas marriage place, I don't want to hear it.
Kenny, that means you're promoting non-consensual marriage.
So you're going to the 90s.
Okay? You're going to fucking sit here and listen.
I don't care nothing about that.
Otherwise, you're going to be problematic.
Date.
So, I say that to say this.
Take her to that damn drive-through.
People fail to forget that Triple H and China were dating at the time of the corporation angle, right? In real life. They get that angle where Stephanie and Triple H get married. Stephanie and Triple H got to work together now. They work closer together now because of this angle. Well, the angle got them real close with each other to the point where they really got into each other, and which China's pretty much like, yo, what? So, yeah, they don't get married at all in this timeline. With that being said, Joni is probably still alive, and her and Triple H are probably married instead.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
I don't like that.
You're
Not the part,
excuse
not
me.
the part that she's still alive. I don't like that we don't get McMahon Helmsley.
Kenny, you're so upset over the Ministry of Darkness. You don't matter.
I'm not that upset about Ministry of Darkness. I like the Ministry of Darkness because the storylines were deep. I like the storylines.
Now,
Not the people in the Ministry of Darkness.
well, Kenny, I'm gonna give you two pure takeaways out of this, and these are very, very, very important takeaways out of this because they're outside of the storylines. Now, because he becomes a two-time WWE champion, Owen never gets that fucking stupid ass Blue Blazer character, and he's still with us today.
Okay, I know that.
With that being said, he retired in 2001 after a 5-championship career. He's now a Hall of Famer. He got inducted 3 years ago. No, not 3 years ago. Shit. He got inducted in 2007. Okay? Now, however, in turn, because all of this goes down, Austin and McMahon feud doesn't happen, and therefore the WWE never beats WCW in the ratings war. WCW buys WWE in 2001 because of this. So ultimately, if the curtain call never happened, we'd be watching WCW wrestling and AEW. No, we'd be watching straight up WCW wrestling. Because there would be no need to make an AEW. Now, Vince McMahon may try to like revamp WWE, but it'll be ragtag. It wouldn't be as big.
He'd be working with Jeff Jarrett, and he'd be running TNA.
I still wouldn't watch it.
I would.
Oh, heard that.
Oh, that means we don't get Jeff Jarrett. Don't
Thank
piss me
God.
off, crap nuts.
Thank God.
I like Jeff.
Although I will say this though, I am kind of sad he doesn't lose the trip to China.
Jeff Jarrett is a great wrestler, and you respect him as such.
Jeff Jarrett got his ass whooped by a woman. I don't care how big and strong this woman was. He's supposed to be a goddamn WWE superstar, therefore stronger than that big and strong woman.
No.
That's a fact, okay? I don't make the rules. Vince McMahon did.
That's an unfair assessment.
In theory, Jeff McMahon made that idea. And then Vince Sr., implemented that idea. Woman's not supposed to beat a man.
Whatever.
In a wrestling match at that time.
That means we don't get Val Venus.
You said what?
That means we don't get Val Venus.
We're being completely honest. Choppy Your PP was the high point of Val Venus' career. That's it.
Hey. He had vignettes with Jenna James.
He did, didn't he? As they know, I was too young to know who the hell these people were. So it's like, it didn't matter to me. And by the time I was like actually old enough, he was a right to censor. Yeah, we also don't get right to censor. Thank God.
I like right to censor. It's like, no. I did not like right to censor. I hated it. Ivory pissed me off for right to censor.
Yeah, I was sick about that, dog, because I love me some Ivory, dog. Ivory. Fun. Yeah. I'm talking about even now.
Oh, that means we don't get the accolade. We don't get APA.
We damn sure don't.
I like APA. What was wrong with APA?
I like one half of APA.
That was before Bradshaw was racist.
Yeah, Bradshaw was cool back in APA. I ain't gonna lie. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I ain't sad about that.
He wasn't John Bradshaw Layfield.
Yeah. Well, King of the Ring 96, he was John Bradshaw. Or Justin Bradshaw.
Not the same thing.
Just ain't. It just
Did that
ain't.
mean we get the Godfather? I don't think we get the Godfather.
I don't know. We probably did.
Whatever.
You gotta remember, it's like
Timeline sucks.
well, not necessarily because
Where's
you gotta
Trish
remember the
Stratus?
timeline is for
Where's
the
Chris
main.
Jericho?
Chris Jericho not come along till like after 2001.
No, because that's when they brought him. He came over there when WCW was still in business. He came in like '99.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Chris Jericho's is back in. Oh no, Chris Jericho doesn't have a job, or he's in Japan now. Yep. Again, WCW won the war.
Eddie Guerrero doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
Chris Benoit doesn't have a job, which means
Chris Benoit kills his wife and kids and himself earlier. With that being said, okay, let's go ahead and hit the buzzer for that because that didn't need to be said. The buzzer disagrees.
The buzzer disagrees.
Oh no. Oh no. At any rate, but yeah, this is, you gotta remember, this is for the main storylines of that time, and not necessarily of that time. The main storyline of
that means we don't get
alternate history and everything around it that it affected. It was a butterfly effect type of thing.
That means we don't get HLA.
HLA.
Yeah, HLA. Remember when Bischoff came back to WWE and he started doing HLA? Don't make me say what HLA was.
You had no choice because I don't remember what the hell it was.
Hot lesbian action.
Oh. Yeah, no, I really don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
And that is
those were my
problematic time. Yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Show where my mind is. No bra and panties matches?
But yeah.
No Trish Stratus table promo.
Well, maybe it happened. I don't know. It wasn't affected by the timeline, ass. So yeah, you can assume that it still happened. Shit, man.
No McMahon Austin cage match at St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Unfortunately, no. Yeah, that you can be upset about. That you can definitely be upset about. No Stone Cold Stunners. The Vince McMahon at the end of every promo they're in.
No beer truck.
No beer truck. No cement truck.
No Zamboni. Oh my God.
No Zamboni. None of those.
Oh my God, no, you got your beady little eyes locked on to the world's toughest son of a bitch. Oh, we don't get that. Oh my God.
Actually, we might still get that because again, Tyson was still in that match. Yeah, so yeah, we still get that moment. We definitely still get that moment.
But it doesn't mean as much. Oh, wait. Maybe Austin McMahon could be born from that. Because McMahon comes, damn it, you ruined everything.
There we go. Now we're thinking. All right.
Go on from that.
Go on from there. Go on. You got, son, because literally, if you, whatever you got, I can probably build on that. And that might change a couple of things. Who knows? Let's try it. Fuck it.
McMahon comes in there. Austin ruins everything. He separates Austin and Tyson. He talks about the system again. Talks about how he's got to work in the system and how everything his time will come. Austin talks about the system, gives him a stunner, lights everything up again. It just happens a little later.
All right. Now,
because Austin's not hurt, his run is longer.
A. B. Well, here's the thing, because everything has to happen before 2001. That's the definitive. This timeline, in this timeline, WWE is bought out in '01. So honestly, we could, give Austin this push, but it'd be too late. It'd be too little too late, because at that time they were, thriving in the ratings. Now, it was 98 when that happened. Oh, actually, 99, 2000. Actually, okay. All right. So
we get the war a little longer. We get it into 2000.
We get a longer war now.
We get it
that
into
being said,
probably
now that we have the Austin and McMahon rivalry going into the 2000s. With that being said, that they started to get the upper hand around 2001. So where it looked like they were about to get bought out, ratings started going up again. Okay? But what keeps it going?
Still got Rock there. We still got Hunter. We still got Sean. We still got Owen.
Exactly. We still have a full fucking litter right now. So we can do whatever we want. I mean, yeah, we're an hour into this episode.
Alternate universe, maybe Nash comes back.
Who knows? Maybe Hall and Nash do come back.
Oh no! Alternate universe, Jericho comes.
You gotta remember, granted, WWE loses this ratings war in 2001 in this alternate timeline, but everything in WCW still happens. It just continues. It's kind of like 2012. The world ended, but we're in a glitch.
Well, hey. Game. Sounds good to me.
All right.
Oh, God,
all right.
Went down.
We have to assume that everything up to 2001 and WCW was still happening, because we never tampered with that company in this scenario in particular. So, with that being said, everything is happening. It's just going on after 2001. So we can assume that roughly the same shit is going to happen for the next 2 to 3 years for WCW. NWL is going to run it. Eventually, that starts to get played out. Even if Nash and Hall got creative control over everything, eventually it'll start to get boring. They're going to want structure again. You know what I'm saying? So then it'll get to a point where their contract's running out. Yeah, they're going to get paid more money, but it's like the shit isn't fun anymore. It's not even challenging anymore. They miss their friends. They're going to want to go home at some point. Then not only that, they've been dealing with fucking Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Nobody wants to deal with him.
Come on, bro.
They're a pain in the ass that don't like losing anyway. So I definitely go back to the WWE at that point. So that being said, let's say Diesel and Razor Ramon come back around 2003. So roughly around, maybe a little later, roughly around that, time period, right? No, actually, yeah. Let's actually bring Hall and Nash back in 2002. Only thing is, we have no Hulk Hogan coming back. I don't want Hulk Hogan back. Keep him, WCW. So with Razor Ramon and Diesel coming back in 2002, you have the Triple H and Shawn Michaels. At this point, they have dissolved out, but those two will bring them back together eventually because Kevin Nash has always been the voice of reason in that entire clique. So, um, by that point, the clique will be back in full strength, you know. But then we still got Owen Hart to worry about. We still got Austin to worry about. We still got The Rock to worry about, who at this point isn't going anywhere anytime soon because, again, he didn't have much of a push. He's not going Hollywood. So we got The Rock from 2001 and 2 on through 2008 or so. What could have been? What could have been?
Yeah.
So, as for Owen Hart, though, well, Owen Hart would be champ. He retires in 01. He'd be a Hall of Famer by like 06, 07. So that's it for Owen Hart right there. You know what I'm saying? Like after the wars were supposed to end, Owen Hart was going to retire anyway. He wasn't going to be there for long. So yeah, he's out of the picture. So now you just have The Rock, you have Austin, you have Undertaker. At this point, you have Kane. Like you can do a lot with this roster, and this roster is still healthy. They never had any debilitating injuries. They're good for another decade or so if they want to. With that being said, while building up Brock Lesnar, Stone Cold doesn't take his ball and go home because they actually do it the right way. The Rock and Sock connection is still a thing, of course. However, they actually become one of the most dominant tag teams in the division when they band together. Otherwise, The Rock is just, around fucking with people for the most part. So that's pretty much it. I mean, not really much you can do after that because it's like after in this universe, after WWE gets bought out, it's like then what? Then it's like just basically repeat episodes of WCW. And then if we extend your alternate universe, it's like after maybe at a certain point we gotta figure out when and how WWE wins that war, and who is still there at that point. Who is there? Who comes there? Is there any way we can do that invasion angle the correct way? And if so, who do we put who against? With that being said, WrestleMania 18 goes completely differently. All right. We do, in fact, get that Sting versus Undertaker match. We get Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan instead of The Rock versus Hulk Hogan, in which The Rock ends up fighting Kevin Nash, who doesn't get hurt/sick earlier in that week. Scott Hall, not a factor because Scott Hall was drunk majority of the time. So we get The Rock and Kevin Nash, which ends up being, a 3.5-star match. There was no frills about it, no oh my god moments. It was just straight up a clinic for the most part, an entertainment clinic for the most part. You get your Rock punches, your Diesel big boot, The Rock kicks out of a jackknife, maybe, things like that. There's no breaking of tables or anything like that. Nothing major. However, Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan, that is also a no frills match, but it's also a hard hit match because Stone Cold brings the whole idea of, our generation is better to that table. That was basically the story of The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. It was era versus era. And with Stone Cold being the undisputed face of that era, it just makes sense. However, again, Stone Cold doesn't get that. Oh, we gave him Austin versus McMahon. So yeah, Stone Cold is at that height at that point. So yeah, Stone Cold being the face of the Attitude Era, and then not only the face of the Attitude Era, but the lungs that kept the Attitude Era breathing when it was dying. He gets the match with Hulk Hogan rather than The Rock. So that ends up being a hard-hitting match because Austin's trying to prove his point that your era was trash and my era kicked ass. So it's a barn burner. It ends up being a barn burner. He kicks out of an atomic drop. Hulk Hogan does that rev up thing, and when he does a little point, Austin gives him both fingers and stuns him. Shit like that.
Indeed.
However, final thoughts?
No, Cody and MGF, that cage match that Cody had was phenomenal. AEW was great. And yeah, there's no sports going on right now. I said XFL. So
Yes. I watched the back end of that Houston game. That looked like a good game. I missed out. The Defenders play tomorrow, correct?
correct.
You know what? I like the NFL. I like the XFL. It looks good. This is the league that we wanted for real. We wanted a league where motherfuckers just interview players when they fuck up and see how stupid they look. You know what I'm saying? We want a league where the commentators make fun of the players and they get upset when they do outlandish shit. We want to see a league where we can bet on the league and its games. You know what I'm saying? XFL is a much looser NFL. It's not blitz. They tried to do blitz in 2001. That did not work out. However, it's more like NFL Extreme now. And it's still good.
Yeah.
You remember NFL Extreme?
Yes, I remember NFL Extreme.
You remember who was on the front cover?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Yeah.
Don't Google.
What?
I said, don't Google.
I'm not Googling it. I'm not Googling anything. I'm ready to go. Got anything else?
So who's on the cover?
Jesus.
Yeah. You thought I'd just go ahead and surpass that. No. Who's on the cover?
Oh, see, I didn't even hear you ask me that. I don't know.
You don't know?
McNair? No Entertainment? Jesus? NFL Jesus?
That being said, I don't think you're over get this.
I can't Google because I have no internet.
John Randall.
Oh, God.
Defensive tackle for the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. That old. With that being said, my final thought is I'm enjoying these what if scenarios. I like discussing these alternate histories. I'm really starting to get into alternate history. And I'm about to start watching fucking alternate history shows. There's some Jones on Netflix. Oh my god. I don't know. I just like saying, what could have possibly happened if one thing went another way. Like, I'm very fascinated with the butterfly effect ever since the movie came out.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, real fascinating. So it's like, I think of things all the time. Like, what if this happened instead of that? Like, what would have possibly happened? Like, would this been to happen? Or 11/22/63. Have you ever seen that jump?
No.
Oh, it's real good, bro. It's on Hulu. It stars James Franco. Basically, he finds a portal of some sort that like sends him back to October of, or not October. I want to say it's like August of 1963, and he's like miles away from uh, Texas. Or not the state of Texas. He's miles away from Irving, Texas. All right. So basically, what keeps happening is he keeps somehow, some way, fucking up and having to, go back to the portal where he came in, where he came out of, or whatever, and leave to go back into modern time and restart the whole process again. So no matter how far he got, you know what I'm saying? Like, this motherfucker could be like 3 or 4 days before the assassination. All right. He's still like, and he messed it up. He gotta go back to the area where the portal is. All right. Then he gotta go through the portal. Then he gotta go back. He gotta, make sure he got his shit together this time. Then he goes back into the portal, restarts back in August. Now you gotta go through those 2 months again.
Lord.
You know what I'm saying? So, however, eventually he does succeed in stopping Oswald from shooting JFK. So when he stops Oswald from shooting JFK or whatever, he goes back into modern times and the fucking area is a wasteland.
Lord.
Like, I think about that shit all the time. It's like, son, you mean to tell me that's what would have happened if JFK never got assassinated? Like, I think you're full of shit on that.
Hey, people just like to make up stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
they had an explanation of it. I forgot what it was exactly. I'm
yeah.
looking it up right now.
Let's quickly close because for some reason my internet is not working. I gotta see if I can fix it.
All right.
My Wi-Fi's not coming up at all.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Wrap up.
That being said, my name is Kenneth Whitaker, aka Hendrick Solo, original owner of Millennial Falcon. I'm on the way to find Lando Calrissian. Dispose of him. AKA the last Black Jedi. Do or do not, there is no try. Feel the force around you. Like I'm going to force myself into your hearts and minds to love me. Yeah, you thought it was going to be something else, didn't you? Get your mind out the gut. AKA the Black Hot Rod. You do not throw rocks at a man's got a machine gun. Music. Play my music. I don't care.
I'm not spitting into my phone either.
It's your phone. Wipe it off.
You're awake, goddammit. Mm. 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 Mm.
It's not as cool.
Run!
Okay. Well, alrighty then. That's funny. AKA, not your man, I'm a savage. Oh, yeah. See, now's the time of year that everyone's feeling all kind of romantic. But the Nacho Man doesn't have love for hoes. No, no, no. All these hoes gotta go. I can't have a hoe in my way. See, because Mean Gene, what you know about the hoes, Mean Gene? I know you had a hoe or two in your day, Mean Gene. I know that they touched the top of that bald head of yours that you got, Mean Gene. So I know
They
that
were
you feel me
attracted.
when I say this, that I gotta kick them out the way when I start to lose my hair wave. Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nacho Man, Nacho Man, I'm a Savage, live from the Himalayas,
Jesus. The
gaining
Himalayas.
peace of mind. Back to you, Gorilla.
The Himalayas. That's fine. That's funny. Oh God. AKA Mr. Go Slick Vodka. It's fine. It's a fine idea. It'll work. It's gonna work. It's passable, okay? This isn't terrible. I mean, it's up to you, Fogel. This guy's either gonna think, here's another kid with a fake ID, or here's McLovin, 25-year-old Hawaiian Olga donor. Okay, so what's gonna be? I am McLovin. Oh my
No,
God.
it's not because of the stupid fucking name. Fuck.
No, it's not. No, it's McLovin. It's done for the day.
He was furious, bro.
He was
What was
mad.
he furious?
AKA the very sexual, the very tight.
Very thought, yes.
Austin Powers Faja.
Wait, is Faja?
Dad is Faja.
Oh. Father. Father. Father.
As long as people are still having promiscuous sex with many anonymous partners while at the same time experimenting with mind-expanding drugs in a coincidence-free environment, I'll be sound as Oh, consequence.
Hey, listen to me, and I need you to listen to me close because I need to tell you this that I'm very familiar with those vibes. And you know the fucking vibes. So like I very much know those vibes. I agree with him vehemently.
That's funny. AKA the one and
No.
only pudding pop master Bill Cosby. Every time I make my sauce, all the women in the room go crazy. What you have to understand is that this here pudding cup isn't just a regular pudding cup. It's got a special ingredient that I myself made sure was it. And that ingredient is love. You want Vince Blackman back?
No.
Bring it on home, Los.
However, that was anticlimactic.
Was it? What, me going love?
Not quite the response I was expecting. However,
What do you want me to do?
just shut up. Stop right there.
No.
I am Carlos Crawford, aka Chin Music Charlie. I'm a product of the alternate histories,
Yeah.
aka Big Blair. I'm making moves next week, and baby, you remember one thing: wherever I go, they can't get a right mind of what to call me. The greatest, slick thick, or just plain old man. Right, sweetheart? Yeah, that's right.
Jesus Christ.
A.K.A. Snack Miller. Fresh out of prison, throw the deuces up like Nixon. Tell me what's the difference between wisdom and superstition? We just civilians. The villains kiss the infants. Ain't no such thing as coincidence. Shit. A.K.A. Gelato Graham. In an emergency, I keep an edible candy bar in my helmet. You learn lessons when you go into multiple overtimes. Valuable ones. A.K.A. There we go. All right. A.K.A. Hey, Stack West. All right, we're going to go furthest out the Rusty Python first. He has the majority of the gang stationed in the hideout there. You take him out, it's right about easy picking from there. All right, Rooster, what's your part of the plan again? I say in the paddy wagon, unless I'm ambushed, in which I come and save you boys. No, paddy wagon only, Dad. You only have one arm. You can only handle a goddamn pistol. Does this look like a pistol mission for you? Shit, it wasn't Spotsylvania. It wasn't Spotsylvania. You want in on the action so damn bad? Fine, shoot anyone but this woman, Dad. Fuck this bounty up for me. I will shoot you myself. No sheriff will do it. Your firstborn is an asshole. Sure he is. All right, son. You have my word. I'll cover you, boys. Thank you. Shit. Yeah, where are you? We're wrapping up.
I'm here. I don't know what the heck. Oh, it cut me off.
Hate to see that. What episode is this? 79 again?
Yeah, 79.
Wow, we're almost in the 80s, bro.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to the 80s. We're off this.
We're out.